What is up, guys, and welcome back to the podcast. Guys, we're here, episode one, and I say welcome back. If you checked out the welcome, we're here, the first official episode of the Mindset Matter podcast. Man, I got a good one. I'm gonna really try to do something every day, whether it's 10 to 15 minutes, to really just give some topics of different things, just give my perspective up on these topics and stuff like that. I know for today, pretty simple, but yet just one such a broad, very broad topic of just trusting the process, man. So if you're listening on any podcast, wherever, whether it's Apple Podcasts, Spotify, make sure y'all leave a review. If you're watching on YouTube as well, listening, man, I just know trusting the process it is better said than done. It's one of those things. It's really better. You hear it, and me personally, it's like trusting the process. How long is this process? You just have different questions. How long will this process take? Is this process going to be worth it? If you see by the thumbnail on YouTube, I got the process may feel like a mistake, but wait for the results. You got to wait for the results. The process may feel like you made probably the worst decision of your life, but you got to wait on those results, man. And trusting the process is just one of those things that I could really have like a whole series on just trusting the process. Just if you've been through different things in your life, different situations, like the process that it takes for just anything, whether that's sports, whether that's relationships, friendships, just your life in general, for opportunities, careers. Like trusting the process it's a very broad statement, just because like you really got to trust the process in almost everything. And just knowing, what does that really mean? What does it really mean to trust the process? And for me, it's like how long now. I'm in the coaching world, so man, trusting the process is totally different as a coach than it was as a player. For a player, you just waiting to get that playing time, and eventually hope to get better at the end of the day. Within, whether you're in high school or college, you got those 4 years to make the best of whatever you have, and you hope to see those results in the matter of a year or two. Right. So just imagine, in the process, people think when they hear trust the process, there's still work that needs to be done. I was just thinking about that, man. Most time people want to know, like, when you tell somebody to trust the process, and they just think, all right, I'm going to trust the process, but they just stop at just trusting it instead of really working while you trust. It's almost like in the Bible, like that faith without works is dead. Like, how can I trust the process and I'm not working towards and within working to make progress in the process? So trust in the process, but you still got to progress in the process. Those baby steps still matter. You still got to see yourself getting better daily, making the necessary adjustments. Most time we want to get better at something, but we're not putting in the work, or we're not even paying attention to the adjustments that we need to make, the changes that we need to make in our life to eventually get the results that we want in the process. Like I said, the process may feel like a mistake, but wait for the results. And I asked ChatGPT, I said, what does the process mean to you? What does it mean to trust the process? And it says, to me, trust the process means believing that consistent effort, patience, and faith will bring results, even when you can't see them yet. It's the mindset of saying, I may not be where I want to be right now, but I'm on the way. And every small step is part of something bigger. So it's about surrendering control over timing and outcomes while focusing on what you can control: your attitude, your discipline, and your persistence. It's understanding that growth, healing, and success takes time, and that the struggle you're in right now is shaping the strength you'll need later. Now, that's what I got from ChatGPT. And, they probably pull for somewhere else and stuff like that. But just imagine, like, trusting the process and not knowing how long it's going to take, or just, like I said, being in the coaching world, man, just imagine coaching for 15 years, and your first 5 years, it's probably losing season, and you're probably questioning like, is this for me? I remember being young. It was easy when I was failing at certain things or not really good at certain things. I easily question like, is this for me? And most times, if it is tough, it gotta be for you. We used to hear like, if it's too hard, just try something new. Try something new. If things get tough, just try something new. And as I got older, I realized if things are tough, that means it may be worth the wait. It may be worth what you're going to see, what you're going to get in the end of this. If you keep working at it, if you keep doing what you need to do, you might actually get the result. So just think, coaching 15 years. Now, this is not me personally or nothing like that, but just imagine if I coach 15 years, I experienced loss after loss those first 5 years, and then those next 10 years are victories. Right? Just trust in the process, because you never know how long it's going to take, and eventually you will get there. If it's something you really want, what come easy won't last, and what lasts won't come easy. So you got to have that mindset to think like, man, if it's tough at the beginning, that really means like, hey, if I keep doing what I'm doing, I'm going to get the results that I'm looking for at the end of this. I really am, and that's what I learned just really about faith. Now, I know this about the process, but like, your faith has to be in touch with this, Like I said, that faith without works is null and void. It's null and void. I can't be wishing and hoping. That don't get you nowhere. Just wishing and hoping gets you nowhere. That work is going to get you somewhere. What you doing every day is going to get you somewhere. Are you disciplined? Are you going to be persistent? That's what's going to get you where you need to be. And I know sometimes it'd be tough. Like for me, man, during the season, it's tough getting up after late nights, late games, or waiting for kids to get picked up. It's really tough trying to get up the next day. And man, just imagine trusting the process. I remember last season, man, I got whooped quite a bit. It was hard to get up some more. It was hard to face another game, but the process, like, you might have that year that might be like, this was tough, and you may be questioning it, but in the midst of the struggle, you see what you need to adjust. You see what you need to fix. And that's what happened to me, man. I started seeing what I need to fix in the struggle. Because when things are going good, I'm not worried about what needs to be fixed, because obviously what's going on right now is obviously working. So in the struggle, that's when you're going to start seeing what needs to be fixed. What can I fix? What can I adjust? What can I change to make a change in this situation, right? So never overlook those struggles, man. Like, those struggles will help you to realize the things that need to be adjusted in your life, whether that's making time for certain things or, getting the rest that you need. Those are things that you got to think about. Maybe you're not where you want to be right now. Like I said, like ChatGPT, man, this was like the perfect description almost, And that was just me asking ChatGPT. Like, I didn't tell it to give me a quote or nothing. That was just me asking. So just imagine, like, ask yourself, like, are you going to trust the process? What are you working towards? Is it going to be worth the wait? If it's something that you really want, like, I promise it's going to be worth the wait. Whether you get it 2 years from now, 5 years from now, or 10 years from now, you're probably going to be mentally prepared for it within that time rather than probably right now. There was times that I was like, oh, I can do this, I can do that. But then I look back and I'm like, dang, thank you, God, for maturing my mind and helping me through certain situations and get through certain situations for me to understand. Because now that I know how to go about certain situations and certain circumstances, now I know how to handle being in this position. Me being in this position about 5-6 years ago, I probably would have quit early. That's the thing, being young, man. You be ready to quit early. But now that I'm mature, it's like, dang, I can wait a little bit because I know what I need to do now. You start figuring it out. And that's how you got to do in life. You got to figure it out. You just got to figure it out. I promise you can. For every problem, there is a solution. You got to figure it out. Being young, it's so easy to quit because I'm thinking I'm young. I got time. Let me just try something new and give my time to that. And most time we'll get something going and it look like it's going great in the beginning, but it's just that consistency that hurts us then. It's just that consistency, man. But like I said, I wanted to give just something short, something sweet. Trust in the process, broad topic. I can go on and on talking about it for coaching, being a player, what it looked like me trusting the process when I played, what it looked like trusting the process of, your career, all those different things, relationships, friendship. Like, it's a process thing. How willing are you? And then too, how long are you willing to wait for someone to reach their potential? Like, it's a lot to go into it, because you see what people are working for and working towards, and you see what they're not, So it's like, all right, I'm trusting the process, but you're not making the efforts now. There's certain people that's not making the efforts to make the progress for the process. And that's what's stopping a lot of people. Like, now you got to make the efforts. If you don't make the efforts, that's going to hold you back every time. And what I've seen, that people that don't make the efforts or hold themselves accountable, it start being easy to blame folks. It start being easy to blame certain situations. Or I see people, they start blaming their childhood, and they're like in their 40s. It's like, you had 20 year plus of adulthood to figure this thing out. You can't go back to what happened when you were 7 and think that's the reason you're not where you're at now. No, it's about those efforts that you put in. Now, although there are some situations that hurt, that people still deal with from their childhood and stuff, don't get me wrong on that. But at the end of the day, you got to make up in your mind, during this process, I got to make progress so I can get to where I need to be. Cause it's a mindset thing, man. That's why I started this podcast. Cause, there's just certain topics and certain discussions that I can talk with to y'all, or even just have a guest on and talk with somebody just about the mindset. Cause everybody thinks differently. Everybody see things differently. And I think that's the beauty of how life works and how people work, is that we all may see the same thing, but we see it in a total different way. Like I said, trusting the process, this may mean something different to somebody. And I definitely want to learn and know what that means to that person, because I just know what I see it as is going to be different for somebody else. And that's just understanding each other's perspectives and understanding that, hey, we all go down different roads that might lead up to us meeting certain people in certain times. And then you go back, on your own different lanes and stuff like that. But no, man, trust the process and all that, man. Trust the process. It is worth the wait. I know for me, struggle. It's a struggle. It was a struggle. It can become a struggle, but I promise you will see the results. If you're making the efforts, if you're making the changes and adjustments in your life, you're going to see that progress in that process. Even if it's baby steps, still progress. Hey, you heard it. No, slow motion better than no motion. So just think, as long as you got some motion going, you're going to make progress. You're going to make progress in your process. So, but that's all I have. Y'all make sure y'all hit that subscribe button. If you're listening, I'm watching on YouTube. If you're checking this out on any of the podcast streaming, make sure y'all leave a review. Give your boy a 5-star. I don't mind that. I don't mind that at all. But let me know in the comments what you think trusting the process mean to you. Let me know in the comments what other topics you would like me to target and talk about. And I got you, man. But other than that, y'all be blessed, be the best, and be you. I'm out.